Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Break Time with Pastor V. Yep, you caught me today in the car, and so I just had to park. It's the way it worked out today, but I am glad you are here, and thank you for joining us, and I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to say hello and let us know where you're listening from. So if you're listening from, sorry about this, I'm trying to adjust this. I'm not used to trying to do this in the car. And by the way, I am not driving. I have pulled over, for those of you who are concerned. Again, just say hello. Let us know where you're listening from. Thank you for joining with Pastor V, Break Time with Pastor V. So today, I got a real kind of a question for you, and I'm going to need you to be ready to answer some questions as we sort of have a dialogue here. Today's topic, if I had to title it, would be, how are you doing today? Which is a great question for anxiety. How are you doing today? And we're going to look at Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. When I think about anxiety, I kind of looked up a working definition for anxiety. And it just says that anxiety is the mind and body's reaction to stressful, dangerous, and unfamiliar situations. It's a sense of uneasiness, distress, or dread you feel before a significant event. Now, we all know that you have to have a certain level of anxiety. It helps us to stay alert. It makes us aware. But there's some people that's an overdrive. And also, we can't have it for a long length of time. It is an emotion that God has given us, but it can be unbalanced. And so, when I think about anxiety, I begin to ask myself some questions. And I want to ask you some of those questions. And in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus is dealing with some issues. And towards the end of it, around the 27th, 28th verse, he's making a point. And the point is that life is really more than what you're going to put on. It's more than what you worry about. Life is more than a survival or about material gains or loss. And he asked the questions. He says, have you ever thought about the birds? You know, they don't even think about what they're going to eat and all that kind of stuff. He says, but God takes care of them. And then here's the thing. What are you worried about? Let me ask you that. What are you worried about? Now, can your worrying change anything? The anxiety that you feel about COVID, the resurgence of COVID, maybe without a job, and the racial issues that are going on, we may feel very intense about it. But if we're worried about them and their outcome, and that it's affected our ability to perform or ability to stay focused on God, my question is, it comes from Matthew 6:27, where Jesus says, "Say, who of you can add anything to his height by worrying about it?" The whole thing is you can't, right? So someone just told me you can only see half of my face. Sorry about that. Hopefully that's better. Thank you. I got stuck in the car today. So hopefully, when you think about it, what can you add to yourself? You can't, right? You can't make yourself any taller. And so let me ask you this. If you keep on worrying about the things that you're worrying about, the things that got you, how will they change? What can your anxiety change? Absolutely nothing. Right, Greg? And that's Schooner, that's exactly what it says in Matthew 6. He says that if he takes care of the sparrows, he's going to take care of you. And he also even say, you are more important than the sparrows. You're more important. He talks about the lilies of the fields, the flowers. He says, and none of them in all of their beauty, Solomon isn't arrayed like any of them in all of their beauty. And so if God cares for those things, if he cares for the sparrows, if he cares for the flowers or the lilies of the field, then guess what? He cares about you. So when we ask, what can your anxiety change? The answer is really nothing. And this is not an indictment, but really just a question that if you're struggling, if you're dealing with anxiety, that you have to ask yourself so that you can begin this road to recovery to be worry free, or to be freed from the worry and the anxiety. Ask yourself, if I keep in this situation, will it change anything? And it won't. Okay, are you ready? I need you to comment on these things. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and you can simply answer I do or I don't. So we're trying to deal with this anxiety issue. Here's the first question. Do you have clothes to put on? Your response is either I do or I don't. Here's another one for you. Do you have access to food to eat? I do or I don't. Give you a little time there. Here's another question. While you're worrying, ask yourself some of these questions. Do you have some sort of indoor place to sleep tonight? I just drove from the church to my home, and I passed by here in Los Angeles. There are several camps of people who have no place to sleep. Okay, here's another one. Do you have at least one person you love who loves you back? I do or I don't. There's an old hymn that the saints used to sing, and the words of a few verses are, it says, when upon life's billows you are tempted and tossed, when you're discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. The next verse says, are you ever burdened with the load of care? Does the cross seem heavy you're called to bear? Count your many blessings, every doubt will fly, and you will be singing as the days go by. And the chorus says, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God hath done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what the Lord hath done. And so here's the thing. With anxiety, we're worried about tomorrow. We're worried about things that we can't change. So don't get so caught up in what you don't have or what you can't change that you can't appreciate or remember what you do have. So it's a trick of the enemy, and what he does is he magnifies the things that we can't change. He magnifies the things that we worry about. And when those things are magnified, we lose sight on the power, the love, and the vastness of the God that you serve. So finally, as we titled this, how are you doing today? Right? Don't get caught up in tomorrow. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't plan and be responsible, but when we begin to worry, and all of our worries in tomorrow about things, the what if, and you can't solve those issues, come back and realize that today, right now, I have a place to stay. I have food. I have so much to be thankful for. I have people who I love and who love me back. I have clothes to wear. I'm not homeless. So finally, verse 34 of chapter 6 says, Matthew says, therefore, because God takes care of the sparrow, because God loves you more, and he'll certainly take care of you, he says, therefore, take no thought for tomorrow. For tomorrow's thoughts will take care of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Meaning you got enough to handle today. Live in today. And as Paul wrote, this is the day. This, whatever it is, whatever your situation is, it is still the day the Lord hath made. Will you decide, make a choice to rejoice in it and be glad? Remember yesterday we talked about God's peace. It doesn't take away the storm, but he'll give you peace in the middle of the storm. Alrighty, I think we're a little long today, but God bless you and thank you for spending break time with Pastor V. If you need prayer, throw up the hand emojis, and or just say, please pray for me. We'll reach out to you. If you know anybody in the South Los Angeles area who needs food, please let us know about it. Just type in food. We'll reach out to you, get the information, and make sure they have food. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Blessings. Peace.